Good morning from freezing cold Galloway, and a happy new year to everyone. It's 1st of January 2026. Over the last few weeks I've been recording a few videos of me doing some bits and pieces with suspension, so I'm going to attach them to this video, and that should be enough for this post. Okay, I thought I'd just video this. I have the leaf spring here, the bushing is stuck in it, so I managed to get so it's one of these, that's a new one, it's the Gwyn, and the old one had been damaged, and let me see if I can find it, there we go. So I managed to knock the centre out of it, but the outer bushing is rusted in place. So I've tried heating this up to see if the heat would crack the rust and free things up, and that didn't work. So what I've done now is got two sockets, one that is small enough to push right through, and the other one is big enough to allow the bushing to push out the other side. So it's a sort of homemade bushing release kit, and it's hard work. I could do with actually a lever for this thing, but I think we are slowly getting it out. Presumably once it starts to go, it'll come a bit easier. Oh yeah, there we go, we're starting to get it. Oh boy. Anyway, you get the idea. So hopefully, if I keep this up, I'm going to get this thing out. Okay, so that was pretty successful. Those bushes came out really quite easily at the end of the day, and I didn't bother videoing the reverse process to get the new bushes in, but same process basically to push the new ones in, and it worked perfectly well. They went in a treat. I just had to sand the inside of this a little bit just to smooth it out, get any rust out of it. Little bit of grease to help get in, and yeah, no problem at all. So the bushes are in, plates are on. I put the shackle plates on this side, got let me just show you there, but poly bushes in there, and we're all good. So add this to the rear axle. We now have the rear axle finished and two leaf springs. So I just thought it might be useful just to show you the damper here, which I'm going to refill. I've emptied it out. I've taken the top off. So this top here unscrews and comes off, lets you get proper access to empty it, and it's a black treacly mess. Oops, as you can just about see in there is the old oil, which is pretty thick and cruddy and smelly, so Lord knows how many years it's been in there. And anyway, so I've emptied it out. I've taken out the valve, which is this here. I'll show you a bit closer in a minute. So let me just pop that again and give you a sense of where it fits. So the valve fits in here. So basically this is a pretty simple mechanism. When you move the lever up and down, these arms here move and pump the oil between these two cylinders, and it goes through the valve from one side to the other, and the valve is what exerts the pressure. And if I can get this back out again. So the valve comes in three pieces. This is the top section, which has the screw, has got holes in it, and there's a one-way spring on this side, and then you fit that spring over, and basically it controls the flow through these holes of oil between the two cylinders, and that's what gives you the damping effect. Now I'm going to leave the spring out just at the moment. So to fill this thing, some people just fill it through this hole, and then there's a little, and that's a what was that, a 7/8 to take that off. For some weird reason, this is a 13mm screw here, which is kind of for topping up, so you can top up through there. But taking the whole top off makes the job hopefully a bit easier. So I'm just going to tighten this finger tight so that whatever I put in it stays in it. And pop it in the vise. And I think hopefully you can just about see what I'm doing there. And I'm using this motorbike fork oil, which is 20 weight, which is the kind of weight that's required. And first of all, fill it from the top. You see it's starting to fill up there now. And to get it into the cylinders, just a part of the way just to do that is just moving it up and down. Because there's no valve in, there's no resistance to that really, so I'm just letting that run through, and hopefully there's a reasonable amount in there now. I'll just square that up a little bit. I'll top it up a little bit more. We're cleaned at the top here and not got lots of oil hanging around. And nice and dry. That's pretty reasonable. And then we put the top back on, and I put a new gasket on this already. I've sealed it, excuse me, with Hylamar on both sides. So we just stick that back on. Hopefully the screw is tight there. Yep, that's going in. These weren't easy to get off. I had to do a bit of persuasion to get these screws loose to get the thing off in the first place, so that can be a bit of a challenge. Sometimes having to do a little bit of persuasion with a screwdriver and a bit of a hammer and knocking it to break the rust seals, and lots of WD-40. But we managed to get them off. And almost there. I feel that snugging down tightly now. about there. There we go. Right, so that's top end sealed again, and now we can hopefully see the best way to do this. Stick it in there just now so you can see it if I can. Oh dear. There we go. I'm hoping it, I'll move the camera in a minute by hand, I think, to show you, but oops. So if we take this back out, you can see, let's turn that, there we go. Hopefully I can get this. Right, so as you can see, they're still pretty empty down in there, so I'm going to pour a bit more oil in, trying not to get it all over the floor, which ain't too easy. Oops, there we go, till it. So that's it full. And let me see what you can see. Mainly because I just want to take this out a little bit and make sure I'm fully moving this arm. Yeah. Okay, so we're bubble free now. Okay, so I've left this for 2 or 3 hours just to let any remaining bubbles find their way to the surface, and I think we're probably just about there, although maybe there's the odd one still coming up. Yeah, just a few there, just oops. Ooh, quite a few. So I'm going to leave that again for another, I might actually leave that overnight and put the valve in the morning. So this is the valve. I've cleaned it up, and so that there's the base here which has got holes in it, and I've blown air through there. And there are holes, channels in this one as well, and sometimes these things have shims on them, but this one doesn't, so it just has a plain spring on there, and that will screw back in, and I'll do that tomorrow morning probably. Right, so this was left overnight. I've put the valve back in and made sure everything's tightened up, and we now actually have a really stiff, worried that it might be actually slightly too firm, but maybe not. For the back dampers, that's actually not too bad. So, so I think at least I know we've got fresh oil in there and it's all properly sealed up. So that one's good. Unfortunately, if I can find the bits and pieces, this one I did earlier in true Blue Peter fashion, for anybody who knows what Blue Peter is, but it's clearly not behaving as it should. It's possible some of it's due to air bubbles, but anyway, I went through, filtered this oil that came out of it, and found these. Let's just so I can show you those. Anyway, let me try and hold that up. Bits of metal that have sheared off, and I think they're part of the pump thing at the top end here that has the two rollers on either side. I think that's the outer lining from one of them. So that basically means it's not pumping properly. So I'm going to open it up and have another look, but if that's the case, this one's done. Okay, I've opened up the top again on this one and it confirms my suspicions. That's one of the rollers which has got an intact cover on it, and if I bring this other one up, you can see that that's a lot thinner. That's the core, and that's what's left of the cover. It's definitely 2/3 of it. And presumably the other third is down inside there somewhere. No idea how that would happen. You would not imagine that could break, but somehow it has, and I don't think there's any way you can fix that. I don't think I could take the arm out, sort it or anything, so I'm afraid this one's US, and I have to try and fix this one. I've managed to get the nut off the end here to get this piece off, but this is kind of seized with rust, so I'm going to let it soak and then persuade it a little bit more with a hammer and hopefully get it out, and then I'll media blast this whole thing clean, hopefully, and yeah, we'll be good to go hopefully with this one. Okay, let's see what we can do with this. It's going to get a bit noisy when this compressor comes on. But, so there we have one cleaned up damper, and this one's actually a genuine Armstrong damper. I'm not entirely sure, I can't actually see Armstrong on this one, so this is I think a slightly newer model, but yeah, it's cleaned up quite nicely. So I'll get a coat of Hammerite or paint on that, and I've also got these brackets cleaned up, so hopefully with those and the new arms I got here, I can finish rebuilding this. Okay, so I emptied the oil out of all four dampers, and I thought I pretty much got it out. And this one, the first one, I cleaned in the parts washer. Just really, brushed it a little bit, but sprayed some of the parts washer fluid through it before refilling it. And then, I've set them all up. They are kind of consistent in terms of the level of damping, but they are really, really stiff. And one of the problems of being a novice to all this and never having done it before is I have no idea whether that's okay or whether they're too stiff. So, and I've researched videos, I've looked through YouTube, and I can't really make up my mind, but I guess after a while I came to the conclusion that maybe there's still a bit of junk in these chambers, because certainly when I poured the first lot of oil out, this treacle here was pretty much full of particles, and the lining of these things gets worn over the years and gets into the oil, so the oil was pretty dirty. So anyway, what I decided to do, and another bit of, as a result of all my reading, was found that white spirit is one of the options to clean it. You can clean it in petrol, you can use paraffin, you can use white spirit. So I had plenty of white spirit available, so I thought I'm going to take one of them apart again, this one here, and I'm going to clean the valve out in white spirit, and then I'm going to empty all the oil out, and I'm going to fill it from the top with white spirit and flush it backwards and forwards and tip that out, and then put white spirit through from the valve end as well. And I've used the brushes to get down it as far as I can into the chambers and clean them out. So hopefully that would make a difference. And I had this nice clear white spirit that I cleaned the valves in. I mean, they're pretty clean. I'd done my best to clean them before. I'd blown them through with compressed air, so I thought they were pretty clean, and nothing much happened when I dipped them into the white spirit. But this is white spirit after I've cleaned the chambers out, so I got a lot more gunk out of there, and it is pretty filthy. So I'm hoping that that's made a difference. Nothing else I can do, so I'm confident that this thing is as clean as it's going to be, as clean as I can get it to be. And the valve's clean. I'm going to blow them through. I'm going to blow through here again with compressed air just to see if anything else comes out. And then we're going to put it all back together, and I'm going to put some fresh fork oil in and see if there's a difference. If there's no difference, then I'm just going to assume that the other three are fine, and that's as good as it gets. But if it is a bit different, if I think that that's actually, this bit of work has made a difference, then I guess I'm going to have to buy some more fork oil and redo these three. But yeah, that's the trials and tribulations of taking a shot in the dark when you really aren't 100% sure what you're doing. So let's see where we get to. Okay, so I've refilled, for the second time I've refilled this one. So everything's cleaned with white spirit. I've blown it through with compressed air. I've put the valve back in. I've refilled it. I've bled it of air bubbles 3 times. Gone away, left it for an hour, come back, bled it, have another go, and air bubbles come out. So this is the final result. So let's see what that's like. It's definitely smooth, and I have a sense maybe slightly less tight than it was the first time I filled it. Yeah, I definitely think I think that's better. Still pretty stiff, but I'm going to assume that that's what dampers should be like. So I think this one's done. I'm going to say that that was a success, which means that at the very least I'm going to have to clean the other rear damper again and get it into a similar state. But yeah, one done. Good job. So that's enough for this video, and you know, the usual stuff. If you like it, give me a like. If you have any comments, any suggestions, let me know, and I'll see you again next time. Thanks for watching.